The sun had just started to rise over the red hills of the colony world Torrin 7. John rubbed his eyes and stretched, expecting another normal day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss a new story. The soft hum of the energy fence outside told him the house was still secure. Birds chirped in the distance. The wind carried the scent of dust and blooming fire grapes, but something felt wrong. He turned to his side. The bed was empty. No warmth, no indent, just cold sheets. "Valira," he called. No answer. He checked the kitchen. No food left out. No message, no sign of her morning tea. He opened the back door. Empty yard. Her boots were gone. His heart dropped. Valira had always been different. She was stunning, almost unreal. Smooth silver skin with blue-tinted markings, eyes that glowed soft violet in the dark. When she first arrived at the colony, everyone whispered, "An alien woman living with a human." It was strange, unnatural, some said, but John didn't care. She was kind to him, curious, brave. He had never loved anyone like her. They had met 3 years ago when her escape pod crashed near his outpost. She said little about her past, only that she was hiding from people who wore gold and smiled with knives. John took her in, protected her. Then they had a child, Kale, half human, half alien. Their miracle. John turned quickly and rushed to the nursery. The room was quiet. A soft light shined through the window. Kale lay sleeping in a small bed, one arm holding a plush toy shaped like a moon beast. His tiny chest rose and fell gently. He was safe, but she was gone. John found a bag next to the crib. It had food, clothes, and credits. His credits. She had packed it for him, not for herself. She didn't run because she was scared of him. She left him with the child. Why? Hours passed. John searched the house, the fields, even the old comm tower. Nothing. No footprints, no tracker, no farewell. It was as if she vanished into the air. Later that evening, he sat by the small kitchen table with Kale in his arms. The child had woken up crying and asking for his mother. John didn't know what to say. How do you explain that someone who once loved you silently walked away? Kale touched his father's cheek and whispered something strange. Stars. Call Mama. John frowned. What do you mean? Kale just looked up at the sky. The colony was small, less than 200 people, but news traveled fast. By morning, everyone knew. She left him. That alien girl vanished. Told you they can't be trusted. Poor baby doesn't even look fully human. John heard them all, every whisper, every stare, but he stayed quiet. He only spoke when someone asked about Kale. He's my son. That's all that matters. But things started to change. People stopped visiting. The local store stopped offering him credit. Even the school rejected Kale's registration, saying he doesn't fit standard education programs. John knew what they meant. They were afraid. Afraid of the boy with glowing eyes and skin that shimmered in sunlight. Afraid of what he might become. Still, John didn't give up. He taught Kale to walk, to speak, to laugh. Every night, he told him stories of the stars, about courage, about kindness. But deep down, something haunted him. Why did Valira leave? And why did she leave Kale behind? He started to think it wasn't just fear. It was something bigger, something dangerous, something coming. That night, after Kale went to sleep, John stood outside and looked up at the sky. The stars blinked peacefully above, but one light, a red one, was moving fast. Not a meteor, not a satellite, a ship, and it wasn't from Earth. John's jaw tightened. Whatever this was, whatever Valira had been running from, it had found them. Kale's eyes glowed brighter with each passing day. At first, John thought it was a trick of the light, but by the time Kale turned 3, even strangers noticed it. His pupils would shimmer like stars at night, sometimes purple, sometimes silver, and when he laughed, flowers near the window would bloom early. That was when the colony stopped pretending to smile. It began with a knock at the door. 2 security officers stood outside. Your son has been reported for causing unnatural weather patterns near the greenhouse sector. One said. John blinked. He's a toddler. He plays with rocks. We have drone footage. The vines moved on their own, responded to his presence. John wanted to laugh, but he didn't because deep inside he had noticed it, too. When Kale cried, wind would push against the house. When he laughed, the temperature rose. When he was angry, electronics glitched. Later that week, the school refuses entry. They use words like policy, safety, and adaptability. But John knew what they really meant. They didn't want the half-alien child. One day, Kale came home with tears on his face and dust on his shirt. What happened? John asked. They said I'm a mistake, Kale whispered. John's heart broke. He knelt and pulled his son into his arms. You are not a mistake. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. But I'm not like you. That doesn't matter. You're mine. That night, something strange happened. Kale had a dream, and the walls of the house began to glow. Symbols appeared. Soft blue lights. Alien writing. John woke up, rushed to his son's room, and saw Kale hovering 2 inches above the bed, eyes closed, glowing softly. Then it stopped. He dropped back to the mattress and continued sleeping, peaceful. John sat beside him, stunned. What are you? He whispered. But Kale didn't answer. The next morning, the red light returned in the sky. This time, John tracked it. He used his old scanner from his military days. Still working, still sharp. The signal was cloaked, but the ship was real. It hovered high above the colony, watching, silent, not human, and not friendly. John dug through Valira's old things. What little she left, a small cube, smooth metal. He had never been able to open it. Now, as Kale touched it, the cube lit up, floated, turned, and played a message. Valira's voice. If you're hearing this, I'm sorry. They found us. Kale is more than he seems. More than even I understand. He will grow fast. His powers will awaken early. And when they do, they will come. Do not let them take him. The cube blinked once and shut down. John stared at it for a long time. So she hadn't left them to run. She left to protect them. And now the thing she feared had arrived. That night, John stood outside again, this time with Kale in his arms. The stars blinked calmly above, but John's jaw was tight. His hand rested on the old blaster, holstered at his hip. I don't know what you're becoming, he said softly to Kale. But I'll be damned if I let anyone take you. Kale looked up and said something strange. Mama is close. John's blood turned cold. How do you know that? Kale just pointed to the sky and whispered, She's coming. But not alone. It started with a hum. Not loud, not harsh. Just a soft vibration in the floorboards beneath Kale's room. John had been fixing the power relay when it happened. He froze and listened. The sound was pulsing like a heartbeat. Slow, steady, strange. He followed the noise and found Kale sitting cross-legged on the floor, staring at the old alien cube. It was floating. The cube spun slowly in the air, glowing from within. Kale didn't touch it. He only watched, eyes wide and shining with soft silver light. Kale, John said carefully, what are you doing? I didn't do it, Kale whispered. It woke up. Suddenly, the cube opened. A beam of light burst out, painting symbols across the walls and ceiling. A star map. Dozens of systems blinked across the room like a miniature galaxy. Then came her voice. John, Kale, if you're seeing this, I failed to stop them. It was Valira. She looked tired. Older. A scar ran across her cheek. She stood in front of a broken ship. Smoke behind her, stars flashing. The royal fleet knows Kale lives. They'll come for him. Not out of love, not for peace. They want his blood, his power. He is the key to something ancient, something they lost in fear. I ran to draw them away, but they're still tracking you. Protect our son. He will change faster than you expect. I love you both, and I'm sorry. The message ended. The cube fell to the floor and cracked. Dead. John stood frozen. She had been fighting this whole time. Not running, not abandoning them. She knew Kale was dangerous, not because of who he was, but what he could become. The colony sky turned darker the next day, not from clouds, but from shadows. A massive ship, black, quiet, and shaped like a spear, appeared above the atmosphere. It didn't land. It watched. No signal, no message, just a slow, silent presence. Everyone in the colony saw it. No one spoke of it, but they all knew it wasn't human, and it wasn't here for trade. That night, Kale sat by the window holding his toy tightly. "Are they here for me?" he asked. John kneeled beside him. "Not if I can help it." Kale looked up. "I feel them." John blinked. "Feel who?" "The ones in the sky. They're angry. They're scared of me." "How do you know that?" Kale simply touched John's hand, and suddenly John felt it too. An image like a flash in his mind. A cold throne. A circle of alien nobles in golden robes. Valira kneeling in chains. A glowing blade raised above her. Then it vanished. John fell back gasping. Kale's voice was quiet. "They have Mama." The next morning, John sent an encrypted message to an old contact. Rix, a robe trader with ties to alien black markets. It simply read, "They've come. She's still alive. I need a way off this rock." RX reply came 10 minutes later. "Meet me at the crater pass. Sunset. Come armed." John packed light. One blaster, food for Kale, med supplies, and the damaged cube. He wrapped Kale in a cloak and carried him through the hills as the shadows in the sky grew longer. Every step was heavier. Every breeze felt watched. They reached the pass just as the sun began to fall. And in the distance, the hum of a low-flying ship echoed across the red dirt. John was done waiting. If the aliens had come to take his son, they were going to learn something. Humans don't give up family. Not without a fight. John awoke to silence. Not peaceful silence. The kind that screams something is wrong. His instincts kicked in fast. He sat up, heart pounding. The fire had burned low. The stars above the crater still blinked. But something was missing. Kale's breathing. He turned to the sleeping mat beside him. Empty. The blanket tossed aside. The small toy left behind. "Kale," John whispered sharply, scanning the shadows. No answer. Then he saw it. The window was broken. Thin claw marks on the edge. Sand scattered across the floor. They had come. John grabbed his blaster and ran out into the dark hills. The night wind howled across the canyon, carrying faint voices. He followed them, every step faster, heart racing, his boots slamming against rock. He tripped, got up, kept running. Then he saw it, a ship rising into the sky, sleek, black, silent. And inside it, through the rear glass, Kale, pressing his tiny hand against the window. "Mama," he cried, not to the stars, but to him. John screamed. He raised his weapon, fired. The shots bounced off the ship's shields like sparks. Helpless, hopeless, gone. The next morning, the crater felt like a grave. John sat beside the ashes of their fire, gripping the toy in his hand. His jaw was locked tight. His eyes were bloodshot, but dry. He wasn't broken. He was focused. A voice called behind him. "Damn, you weren't kidding." John turned. Rick stood there, dusty jacket, cybernetic eye, and a gun the size of his leg. His small junk freighter hovered behind him. "I got your message," Rick said. "Didn't think they'd grab the kid so fast." John stood. They didn't just grab him. They planned it. They'd been watching for weeks. RX nodded. "Royal trackers. Elite. Quiet. Quick. You said you knew how to follow them." "I do," Rix replied, tossing him a chip. "But it'll cost you." John caught it. "Everything I've got. Every favor. Every debt. I don't care." RX grinned. "Now you're speaking my language." They boarded the ship and took off into orbit. RX plugged in the tracking chip. A star map appeared. Lines traced paths across the system, all leading to Sector 7, an alien stronghold known for one thing: off-world political prisoners. "They're not just after your son," Rick muttered. "They know who he is." "I know," John said. "And they have Valira, too." Rick's raised an eyebrow. "So it's a rescue mission now." "No," John said coldly. "It's war." As the ship jumped to hyperspace, John sat by the window, gripping Kyle's toy tightly. He didn't know what kind of empire he was flying into. Didn't know how many enemies waited for him. But none of it mattered. Because one thing burned in his chest brighter than fear, a father's love, and he would burn down every royal throne in the galaxy to bring his son home. The doors of the alien royal court swung open, and a human walked in alone, uninvited, unarmed. Dozens of golden-armored guards raised their weapons, but John didn't flinch. His boots echoed on the polished crystal floor. His eyes burned with rage. His voice was calm, but every word hit like thunder. "Give me back my son." Whispers rippled through the chamber. Humans were rare here. Weak, they said. Lesser, they believed. But this one looked like he'd fought 1,000 wars and lost more than most. At the center of the room sat a council of alien nobles, skin like glass, robes like light. Their leader, High Noble Saraxis, looked down at him with cold amusement. You enter a sacred court alone and demand a child that does not belong to your kind? John didn't look away. "Kale is mine, and he's more yours than you'll admit." A quiet gasp. A few eyes turned toward the sealed chamber behind the throne, the one that held their secret. Saraxis narrowed his gaze. "You know," John nodded slowly, "he's not just a hybrid. He's heir to your bloodline, and that makes him dangerous to your lives." A guard stepped forward. "You are trespassing. One step more and you die." John smiled. "Then you better shoot fast." Before the guard could react, a pulse bomb detonated from the hallway. Smoke filled the chamber. From the ceiling, ropes dropped, and RX crew of mercenary misfits burst in. They were ugly, scrappy, loud, but they were loyal. And behind them, hacking into the palace lights, was RX himself. "Told you I'd get you in," he grinned over the comms. John fought like a man possessed. Blades clashed. Blasters roared. The nobles screamed. But John had only one target, the sealed chamber. He slammed the side door open, smoke trailing behind him, and there, in the center of a glowing cell, Kale, floating in the air, eyes closed, energy pulsing around his body. "Kale!" John shouted. The boy opened his eyes, silver and bright. "Daddy," he whispered. "You came." The cell lights exploded. The energy shield dropped. Kale floated down into his father's arms. But behind them, another voice came, soft, familiar. "John." He turned. Valira stood there, weakened, thin, but still glowed with that otherworldly beauty. Her eyes welled with tears. "I didn't want this. I tried to keep him safe. I thought if I left." "You thought I couldn't protect him," John said. Valira lowered her head. "I was wrong." He stepped forward and placed Kale in her arms. "No, we both were." But the reunion ended fast. A new alarm rang. Noble reinforcements were incoming. Twice as many. Twice as deadly. "We need to move," Rick said over comm. "Now or never." Valira looked at the ceiling. "There's a launch chamber through the east corridor. Secret exit. I've used it before." John grinned. "Then let's crash this palace one more time." They ran together, cutting through guards, dodging blaster fire. Kale walked between them, calm, his presence somehow pushing machines offline, making weapons jam. "His power is awakening," Valira whispered. "He's doing more than we understand," John added. As they reached the launch bay, a new squad blocked their way. But Kale stepped forward, eyes glowing, hands raised. He whispered something in a language no one taught him, and every enemy fell to their knees. Some dropped weapons. Some cried. Some just bowed. Even Valira stared in awe. "He's not just a child." John nodded. "He's a force the galaxy didn't expect." They boarded RX ship and blasted out of the palace as the council screamed in fear. Behind them, the sky burned with fury. Ahead, stars opened like a door. But this time they weren't running. They were flying towards something greater. The stars were quiet. Too quiet. Valira sat at the front of RX ship, eyes closed, her hand resting gently on Kale's small shoulder. John watched from the corner, arms crossed, heart heavy. His son was safe. The enemy left behind. The palace escape was a miracle. But the silence between him and Valira, that was the real war now. She finally spoke. "I never wanted to leave you." He didn't answer right away. Valira looked at him. Say something. John's jaw tightened. I said everything the day you vanished. I thought if I stayed, they'd find Kale. Use him. Take him. Kill you. You thought I couldn't protect him? He said coldly. You thought I wasn't enough? No, she said softly. I thought I wasn't enough. Kale, sitting between them, suddenly looked up. I had dreams, he said, blinking slowly, of both of you, but you were always on different sides. Neither parent spoke. But I think now, Kale smiled gently, we're all together again. John exhaled. Yeah, kid, we are. Valira touched John's hand for the first time in years. We still have time, she said. Time to fix things. But before they could speak again, the ship shuddered. An alarm blared. RX's voice cracked through the comms. We've got a tail. Big one. Through the rear viewport, a giant alien cruiser appeared. Sleek. Silent. Royal markings across its hull. Did they find us? John asked. Rick cursed. No, that's not the Empire. It's worse. Valira's face went pale. That's the oath sworn. John raised an eyebrow. That means something? She nodded. They're not part of the royal court. They're older. Secret. They believe Kale is a holy figure, not to be raised, but to be controlled. And what do they want with him? To use his mind to rewrite the galaxy. Kale's breathing slowed. I can feel them. They're calling me. John knelt beside him. Don't listen. You're not theirs. You're ours. Kale looked unsure, but their voices are beautiful. Valira grabbed his hand. Kale, listen to my voice. You're strong. You're not alone. The boy blinked and the trance broke. Outside, the oath-sworn cruiser launched pods toward the freighter. Rick swerved hard. They want to board us. John shouted. We need to get Kale out of here now. Valira's eyes narrowed. There's one chance. My old ship. It's buried on a moon near here. It has stealth tech untouchable. John stared. You planned this. I always had an exit in case they came, she said. I just hoped we'd never need it. They changed course. The moon appeared, dark, quiet, forgotten. As they landed in the rocky valley, Valira ran ahead, her old implant unlocking the hidden door. It opened with a low hiss. Inside sat a black ship, curved like a wing, silent like death. John raised an eyebrow. Still works. Valira smiled faintly. It's alien tech. It always works. As they began loading supplies, Rick shouted from the ridge. Incoming. They followed us down. John turned to Valira. You fly the kid out. I'll hold the ridge. No, she said. We go together. I'll slow them. You protect him. Kale stepped forward and whispered, We do this as a family. His small hand reached toward the sky. A pulse of energy exploded from him. Silent but powerful. Ships in the sky shut down. Soldiers on the ridge froze. The moon held its breath. John and Valira looked at each other, stunned. He's growing faster than we thought, she said. No, John whispered. He's becoming what they feared. They boarded the ship together for the first time in years as the engines roared and the stars opened before them. They were not just fugitives anymore. They were a family with a future. And Kale, he was something greater than both of them. The black ship hovered in silence over a neutral space zone known as a divide, a place where no empire ruled and no side dared cross. On one side floated the massive sharp-edged fleet of the alien royals. On the other, blocky and weathered ships from Earth's Defense Alliance. Tension filled the stars, and between them, one small ship with one small boy, Kale. Inside the ship, John stood at the window, fists clenched. Valira sat quietly, watching Kale as he stared out at the stars. He hears them, she said. John nodded. Both sides want him. Both sides are scared of him. They think he's a weapon. John looked over at his son. They're wrong. Kale turned slowly. I know what I am now, he said, and what I can do. John stepped closer. No matter what you are, you're still our son. Kale smiled softly. And that's why I'm not afraid. He walked to the center of the ship, and raised both hands. A soft light surrounded him. The ship systems lit up on their own. Outside, the stars shimmered. A signal was sent across both fleets. Every screen flickered. Every system paused. And then Kale's voice echoed inside every mind. You made me, all of you, one side by blood, the other by love. You fight over power, fear difference, and chase control. But I am not a tool. I am not a prize. I am a child, a bridge, and I will not let either of you decide who I become. On the Earth ship, Admiral Reyes stepped back, stunned. On the alien flagship, Noble Saraxis dropped his drink. All across both fleets, silence. Then slowly, ships powered down. Weapons were lowered. Orders were canceled. No war, not today. Inside the ship, Kale collapsed into John's arms. You did it, John whispered. Kale breathed deeply. I just wanted them to hear me. Really hear me. Valira joined them, wrapping her arms around both. I'm proud of you, she said. You both saved me first, Kale said. I only gave it back. Weeks later, the black ship returned to the edge of known space. A peaceful zone was created. Neutral land offered by both sides. A place where humans and aliens could meet and learn. And at the center of it, a school, a garden, a small house, and a boy. They came from across the galaxy to see him. Some called him a hero, others a miracle. But he didn't care about the names. He cared about planting trees with his father, learning music from his mother, and laughing like a child was meant to. They once said a human, and an alien could never raise something purer. They were wrong, because in a galaxy full of fear and war, a child raised by love became the first sign of peace.